US elections 2024. Biden drops out of presidential race amid pressure. Okay, we have a lot of advanced vocabulary there, beginning with elections. Now, some of you will know what this is, but let me explain it anyway. It's when we vote for somebody to have a job. So in this example, the American people are voting for the President of the United States. They're voting for a person to have that job. But you might have an election at work or at school for the head of year or to put somebody into some position, some job. Our next phrase is drops out. That's a phrasal verb. It means to stop doing something before you finish. So here, Biden is stopping his campaign. He quits. You might drop out of university if you think your subject is too difficult, for example. Presidential is just the adjective form of president. So anything that the president does or anything about the presidency is presidential. The president had a presidential lunch. After that, he had a presidential meeting. Okay. Amid means at the same time as something. You can remember this because it looks like middle, a middle, right? So he did this in the middle of something else happening. And what was that thing? It was pressure. Other people trying to make him do something. So it sounds like lots of people were telling Biden he should quit. And so he did. He quit. He dropped out amid this pressure. He dropped out because people were telling him to drop out. Okay, so that's the title. My name is Reese. This is English with Reese. We are learning English by reading a news article today. And this news article is from Al Jazeera. It's from the 21st of July, 2024. And we're going to use this article to look for grammar, vocabulary, and pronunciation points that might be a little bit advanced. And as you watch these videos, you'll get better and better at understanding the news and other native texts. So let's jump in to the first paragraph here. United States President Joe Biden has withdrawn his re-election bid, thrusting this year's high-wire race for the White House into uncertain territory. Okay, a lot of big words there, and a couple of short advanced words too, like bid. That means an attempt to achieve something, to try to win something or get something. So here, he had a bid to be president. But you might have a bid to win the talent competition or a bid to graduate from university. Then we have this word, thrusting or thrust. And that means to push something suddenly. Okay, you might want to thrust something off a table or off a cliff. Maybe you have a big stone you want to push off a cliff. You're going to need to thrust it. Okay. Then we have this phrase, high wire, and that means risky. And the reason it means risky is because this is a high wire, a real one. So when we describe something as high wire, it means it's risky or dangerous, like this. Moving on to the end here, we have uncertain. That means something we don't know or we're not sure about. And then territory, in this context, means a subject that you know a lot about or you have experience in. Okay? So my territory is English teaching. I'm not in uncertain territory when I'm teaching English. Actually, I'm in familiar territory. Okay? And these are collocations. That means words that are normally found together and sounds like they should be together to a native. So one more time, the first collocation is uncertain territory. That means you're doing something that you don't know much about. And then we have familiar territory, the next collocation, which means you're doing something that you do know a lot about. Now, maybe you noticed that I wasn't saying territory. I was saving time, like most natives do. And I actually said territory. Okay, it looks like territory. Territory. And the next word I'd like to look at for pronunciation is withdrawn. Withdrawn. That's a little bit difficult for the mouth. There's a lot going on. We're going from th to g, okay? Two kind of different sounds. They're not common in every language, so they can be a lot. But with practice, I'm sure you'll get there. Withdrawn. And then on the grammar side of things, where have we got has here? United States President Joe Biden has withdrawn. Why don't they just say Joe Biden withdrew, in the past tense? And the reason is because this has just happened and we are seeing the effect of it now. Okay, so this is the present perfect, and we use it to talk about things in the past which are still important now. So Joe Biden is giving a speech. We can see in the picture there. So this has just happened, and we're seeing something about it now. That's why we're using the present perfect. The announcement by the oldest sitting president came amid mounting pressure from Democrats, with over 30 Congress members pushing for his exit. We've already talked about amid and pressure, but what about mounting here? That means slowly increasing, slowly getting more and more. So there was a little pressure, then there was a little more, and it got more and more and more, and it got very big. The Democrats are one of the two big parties in the US. There are lots of parties, but the two big ones, the two that really have a chance of getting into the government and being the president, are the Democrats and the Republicans. Joe Biden is a Democrat, so he's getting pressure from his own side there. And it says that over 30 Congress members were pushing for his exit. Congress is the part of the US government that make laws. So 30 lawmakers were pushing for his exit. So what does that mean, to push for something? It means to demand something again and again, to ask for something forcefully, strongly, again and again. For pronunciation, amid. I'm not saying mid. I'm being lazy. I'm saying mid. Amid. And then pressure. We have two S's there, but in this word, they're making a sh sound. Pressure. With Democrats. There's an O there, but I don't say Democrats. I'm lazy. I use Democrats. In a post on X, Biden, 81, said he will serve as president until January 2025 and will address the nation this week. Okay, let's start with serve. That means to work. So he will work as president until January and will address the nation. He will talk to the country this week. Address means talk to, but it's a little bit more formal. It's for important things. And I'd like to talk about pronunciation for a second. With January, I know there's an A, a second A, but I'm not pronouncing it. I'm saying January. January. It has been the greatest honor of my life to serve as your president. While I intended to seek re-election, I believe it is best for my party and the country to stand down and focus on fulfilling my duties, Biden wrote. Okay. He says he intended to seek re-election. That was his plan. He had a plan to seek, to try to get re-election. Maybe you've seen this re in front of a bunch of words, and that just means again. He was elected once, so this wouldn't be an election. He wants to be elected again. So This is a re-election. Maybe after this video, you'll want to re-watch it, watch it again to get more information. I believe it is best for my party and the country to stand down and focus on fulfilling my duties. Stand down is a phrasal verb. It means to stop doing your job. So Biden wants to stop being the leader of his party. If you quit your job, you could say you are standing down too. A few quick ones. Focus means to give attention. Fulfill means to do what you promised. And duties means the things you have to do or the things you think are right to do. For pronunciation, let's go back here. Honor. I'm not pronouncing the H. Honor. That's a silent letter. Be careful with that one. His initial statement did not endorse Vice President Kamala Harris, but he expressed support minutes later. His initial statement, so the first statement, the one that came before. A statement is a speech or some kind of writing, something official. So in this context, we're talking about Biden's letter. Remember, it says here that he wrote something. That's the initial statement. And in his initial statement, he did not endorse the vice president. He did not give public support. He didn't mention that he wants Kamala to become the president. But he expressed it later. He showed support minutes later. Now, I thought it might be good to take a look at the pronunciation of this name. After all, this person may become the president, so we might be saying this name regularly. To say this name, we say Kamala. Kamala. She is Kamala Harris. Harris, 59, would be the first black woman to run at the top of a major party ticket. Couple of words there. Perhaps we want to focus on major. That means more important. So as I said, there are many parties in America. They're all trying to get into the government. But there are two major parties, the two big ones. And she will run at the top of one of them. Why are we saying would be the first black woman? The reason is because this is in the future and we're not totally sure. Maybe she won't accept it. So we could say Harris, 59, would be the first black woman to run at the top if she accepts or if she gets support. Right? So we're not totally sure, but that's what would happen. Biden's move leaves his replacement with less than 4 months to wage a campaign. Your replacement is someone who does the job instead of you. So if you've had a job in the past and you quit, somebody else had to get that job. That was your replacement. To wage means to fight or to organize activities to get what you want, to achieve something. So in a presidential election, that could be advertising, attending debates, asking questions to the other side that you know they won't answer very well. These are all ways you could wage a campaign. And one last pronunciation there. Campaign. Okay, there's a G in there. I'm ignoring it. I'm saying campaign. Okay, so that's the entire article. At the end of these videos, I like to read through the entire thing in my own native way. So that's in a native speed, a native accent. You're hearing it as it would really be done by a native. But before I read it, if you enjoyed this video, if you learned something, then please be sure to subscribe and like the video. And maybe leave me a comment. Tell me what you learned. Tell me what you like about these videos and what you'd like to see more of. I enjoy making them. So if I get your support, I'll make even more. Okay, let's read. US elections 2024. Biden drops out of presidential race amid pressure. United States President Joe Biden has withdrawn his re-election bid, thrusting this year's high-wire race for the White House into uncertain territory. The announcement by the oldest sitting president came amid mounting pressure from Democrats, with over 30 Congress members pushing for his exit. In a post on X, Biden, 81, said he will serve as president until January 2025 and will address the nation this week. It has been the greatest honor of my life to serve as your president. While I intend to seek re-election, I believe it is best for my party and the country to stand down and focus on fulfilling my duties, Biden wrote. His initial statement did not endorse Vice President Kamala Harris, but he expressed support minutes later. Harris, 59, would be the first black woman to run at the top of a major party ticket. Biden's move leaves his replacement with less than 4 months to wage a campaign. All right, that's all from me. I'll see you next time.